honorable members of the House and Government Operations Committee, Maryland residents. My name is Carl Poole, Jr. I'm a lifelong Maryland resident. I'm the Maryland State Team Leader for PANDA, People Against the NDAA, a bipartisan organization committed to stopping the indefinite detentions of the indefinite provisions of the NDAA. PANDA has state teams in 36 states and a hand in legislation in 20 plus states. I'm here in support of HB558. The National Defense Authorization Act for fiscal year 2012 has become infamous, not for its intended purpose, but for what it now has hiding in it. Sections 1021 and 1022 in a nutshell codify the indefinite detention of U.S. citizens by including words that the federal government has failed to define, such as belligerent act and associated forces, and used to kill 2 American citizens in Yemen in 2011, Anwar al-Awlaki and a 16-year-old son, Abdul Rahman al-Awlaki, with a drone strike. In Hedges v. Obama, a lawsuit challenging the constitutionality of the 2012 NDAA, U.S. District Judge Catherine B. Forrest noted that the federal government did not call any witnesses, submit any documentary evidence, or file any declarations. It must be said that it would have been easy for the government to have stated that as to these plaintiffs and the conduct as to which they testify, sections 1021 did not and would not apply, if indeed it did not and would not. Further, she stated, the government was unable to define precisely what direct or substantial support means. Thus, an individual could run the risk of substantially supporting or directly supporting an associated force without even being aware that he or she was doing so. This measure has a chilling impact on the First Amendment rights. In September, Judge Forrest put an injunction against Section 1021 so that it could not be used. Very quickly after that, the Department of Justice was granted an emergency stay, placing indefinite detention back into effect. This is not a partisan issue. This is a freedom issue. There is nothing more opposite of freedom than the indefinite military detention and assassination. If you could talk to George Washington, how would you explain to him that life, liberty, and the pursuit of happiness are not being violated? If you could talk to James Madison, how would you explain to him that terrorism is not a guise in which lawlessness and oppression has come to this land? Is indefinite detention the freedom you think of on the 4th of July when celebrating our Declaration of Independence? You swore an oath to the constitutions of the United States and the great state of Maryland. Can you ensure me my rights are protected? In an age where words are misconstrued and definitions omitted, can you assure me that the same cannot be said for your freedom and liberty? In this age of immoral legislation, an age of government-sanctioned kidnappings, we the people need to unite once again and become vigilant in the safeguards of liberty for all mankind. If America falls, there is no other place this great. So I ask you to stand with good morals. I ask you to stand for freedom. And I ask you to stand for the rights that were endowed to us by our Creator. I urge you to agree with a federal judge, Delegate Dwyer, hundreds of organizations across America, and the people of Maryland that this law is unconstitutional and shall not be enforced here. I urge an affirmative vote on HB 558. Thank you.
Thank you. Are there questions of this panel? Thank you very much for staying to this hour to let us hear